Aloha, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Uh, let's get this warm up copied. I'm going to zoom in so you can do the top half first and then do the bottom half. Remember, copy everything down, start doing problems. Try to do the KenKen last because sometimes you get stuck on that. It can take a long time. You want to practice all the math too. This is math, but it's mostly logic, which is good for math and science and just critical thinking in general. So let's press pause and you copy that down first. Okay, now let's do the bottom part. Now, the bottom part, we're doing the area and perimeter of a trapezoid, and we're going to get the mean median mode of the latest COVID numbers, right? Latest COVID numbers in the paper today, right? Thursday, May 20th. We had 5 yesterday. I like that. Didn't like that 30, right, from Tuesday, but then a 4, 11, 4, 19, and 9. And the numbers went down. We dropped a bigger number, 20, and replaced it with a 5, so that helps. You're going to get the mean, median, and mode of those. And remember the mean, you add them all up and you count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Should be 7 days of the week. And that's what they post. And divide. Okay, the median, remember you take the middle number, but there's one thing you have to do first. I hope you remember. Okay, if not, you will go over it and what 2 letters are most important in the word mode. We'll talk a little bit about what's the most appropriate average for that too. Okay, all right, copy that down and get to work. Okay, let's get some answers. First, the diamond. What 2 numbers have a product of 64 and a sum of 16? Did we do this yesterday? 8 times 8 fell on the floor. I picked it up. It was 64. 63 and 16 still have a 16 there. 6 times 10? No. Right? Nope, that's going to be 7 times 9. And 7 plus 9. How about 66 and 17? That's going to be 6 and 11. And how about 65 and 18? That's 13 times 5. Okay. Square roots. What number squared equals 25 over 121? Well, if I multiply 5/11 times itself, I would have 25 on top and 121 on the bottom. So the square root of 25 over 121 is 5 over 11. How about 16 over 49? Please don't put an 8 on top. 4 over 7. Good job. How about 36 over 81? It looks like I could simplify that. Let's do 2 things here. I know that 9 goes into 36 and into 81. So what if I simplified that fraction? Then I would have the square root of 9 goes into 36 4 times, and 9 goes into 81 9 times. What is the square root of 4 over 9? Well, what number times itself is 4? 2. What number times itself equals 9? 3. Wonder what's going to happen here. What's the square root of 36 over 81? Well, what times itself equals 36? 6. What times itself equals 81? 9. Can I simplify that fraction? I can, huh? What goes into the top and bottom? 3. How many times does 3 fit into 6? 2 times. How many times does 3 fit into 9? Same answer. It's kind of cool when you get these square roots and fractions. You can simplify before you start, or when you get done, you're going to get the same answer. Kind of cool. All right, anyway, square root of 9 over 64 should be 3/8. And how about 4 hundredths and 25 hundredths? Huh? Don't freak out. Try some numbers. See what happens. 2 tenths over 5 tenths. Now, guess what? I could simplify this by multiplying it by 10 over 10 and say that's the same as 2/5. You know that? I would like that answer better. I don't like those decimals and fractions inside a fraction. All right. First thing I do when I have a string of numbers, if I'm going to be getting all 3 of these, okay, is I'm going to put it in order, right? If not, you're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. The 11 must be the median because it's in the middle. No, you got to put them in order first, right? That's what I was talking about. Put them in order first. So I'll put them in order. Smallest number, there's a 4 there. Looks like there's another 4, and then there's a 5, and then there's a 9, then there's an 11, looks like a 19, and a 30. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 9 is the median. Okay? If I didn't do that, I would have had 11. That's the wrong answer. What 2 letters are most important in the word mode? The M and the O, I underline it for you because they stand for most often. Do any of these happen more often than others? Well, when I put them in order, it becomes obvious. Hey, I got 2 4s there, huh? So 4 would be the mode in that group. Now, the mean, remember, that's when you add, you count, and you divide. Okay? Now, I already counted. There's 7. Okay? So I'm going to take whatever I add and divide it by 7. So when I add, I got them in order here. I'm going to go 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 9 is 22. 22, I'm going to add those real quick because they fit together so well. 11, 19 makes a nice even 30, and 30, right? So that's 60 and 22, 82. Okay, now I'm going to divide. Now, what if I said to estimate this? Okay, you're not messing with that 7. But instead of writing 82, I'm looking for a number that 7 fits into that's close to 82. Some people say 77. That's not bad. But you know what? One more 7. 84 is a perfect fit. So my estimate for this is 12. Let's find out what the exact answer is. 7 into 82. 7 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. Now I subtract. What do I do now? Bring down the next number. 7 goes into 12 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. Now I subtract. What do I do now? Well, I can add a decimal and a 0, or I could just, let's make this a fraction and say that remainder goes on top, the divisor on the bottom. 11 and 5/7 is my, a little more than 11 and a half. Okay. Now, what is the most appropriate average for this, right? Do we want to use the median, the 9, the 11.5/7, or the 4? Okay. Well, we don't want to use the 4. Why? Because the mode happens to be the smallest number. And that would make people think that we are doing way better in Sonoma County than we are. We're doing pretty awesome. We're doing pretty awesome, right? An average of less than 12, and we have 56.8% fully vaccinated, and we only have 304 total cases right now. That's pretty good, right? Remember, we're getting over 350 a day back in the middle of January. So that's pretty good. But yeah, we don't want to fool people into thinking we're doing that good. Okay. Usually the mean is the best average unless you have a good reason to not use the mean. Okay. So I'm probably going to use maybe even an estimate of 12. 9's not bad, but again, because of those 2 4s, it might make us think that we're doing better than we are. Right. All right. So appropriate average. Last problem here. We have the area and perimeter of this trapezoid. Remember the area, you're just adding up out on the outside. Okay, and I can do 9 and 12 in my head. That's 21. Okay, and 10 and a half and 18 and a half. Let's do the 10 and 18. That's 28. So far I have 49 and a half and a half. Oh man, I didn't even have to get common denominators. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole. The perimeter is 50 feet. Okay, and let's just estimate, make sure it's about 10, a little more than 10, about 20, right? So 10 is 30 plus 20 is 50. Yeah, that's a good estimate. So I'm thinking I got that right. Now, remember to get the area of a trapezoid, okay? What if I made another? I clone this trapezoid, right? Then if I have a parallelogram, and the area of a parallelogram is the base times the height. What is the base? Well, there's a 10 and a half there, there's 18 and a half here, there'd be another 18 and a half. So the base is going to be 10 and a half plus 18 and a half. The height is 8, but that's the area of 2, right? So that's the top plus the bottom times the height. But that's the area of 2 of these things. I need one of these things, so I need to divide it by 2 somewhere, and that is usually what they do. Okay. Other way of looking at it is the top times the height ends up being this rectangle. That's not big enough. The bottom times the height ends up being the same as this rectangle. That's including all of this and all this. That's too big. I need something in the middle, and the middle of 10 and a half and 18 and a half is the average of 10 and a half and 18 and a half. Okay. And that ends up being what's halfway between 10 and 18 because they both have half. 14. So it's going to be 14 and a half. Let's just double check. If you didn't know that, to get the average of two numbers, you add them up and divide by 2. 1/2 is 2 halves. 18 and 10 is 28. 28 and 2 halves is 29. Let's divide that by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. Write down the next number. 2 goes into 9 4 times. Should have given myself a little bit more room. And 14, the remainder goes on top. Divisor on the bottom. 14 and a half. Sorry, that's so messy. Okay, so 14 and a half is the average of the top and the bottom. I have to multiply that by 8. Now, all sorts of way of doing this. I like to do this sometimes. Make a generic rectangle and just leave the 14. Right? 8 times 14 is 8 tens is 80, and 8 fours is 32. 80 and 32 is 112. Or come over here and just make sure. Right? 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 3. Okay, so now 8 times a half, instead of thinking 8 times a half and doing all this work over here and saying, how do I make this a fraction? Oh, put a 100. 8 times 1 on top, 1 times 2 on the bottom. Let's simplify. 2 goes into the top 4 times, goes in the bottom 1. 4 over 1 is 4. You know what you can do is remember what word also means multiply in math? Of. Right? So 8 times 1/2 or 1/2 times 8 is the same as 1/2 of 8. What's half of 8? 4. 112 plus 4 is 116. What are my units? Not feet, square feet. All right. Have an awesome Aloha Thursday, everybody. We will see you soon.